Hey guys, it's me, your host Super Zorro. Thank you very much for tuning in. Look what I got! This is the brand new Five Nights at Freddy's action figures from Jazwares, and this is Toy Bonnie. It's such a cool toy line. I did a video unboxing the Toy Freddy very recently with jumpscare action. And I also did a review of the Jazwares Endo series Freddy as well, which is also very cool. But it is great to have the Bonnie, the Toy Bonnie, to go with them. So let's crack Bonnie open and take a closer look at this awesome looking new figure. One thing I am loving about these new Jazwares figures is the artwork on the box they've gone for. It is very Five Nights at Freddy's, like retro inspired, like the original Five Nights at Freddy's game. So there you've got the nice artwork in the top corner, you've got the logo at the very tippy top, and then it's got this all these little bits here where it says about the glow in the dark eyes, which is very cool. I love the fact that all of the characters so far have had glow in the dark eyes. And there's the jump scare action. Now, I love this design like this with the cams and then the power and things, because that is straight up Five Nights at Freddy's game, hood screen, you know what I mean, like that. That is what you see in the game, which is very, very, very cool. And if I flip around to the back, you can see all the other characters in the series. So far, I have reviewed Freddy. Today, we're doing Bonnie, and then probably tomorrow, we'll probably do Chica, and then Mangle. So stay tuned for the rest of the series. These are made by Jazwares now. As we know, the Five Nights at Freddy's master license was actually taken away from Funko, and Jazwares have since inherited the license. And so far, you know, I was hesitant. I was excited for a fresh start with a new company, because obviously it was really hard to jump into the Funko stuff because they were so deep in the line. So it was hard for new people to jump in. Whereas I think this new series is a great jumping on point for new collectors that want to get into Five Nights at Freddy's. And so far, I think they've been hitting it out of the park with these. Now, a lot of people are saying to me, have been asking me why I think they've been doing the toy versions of the characters, like the Toy Bonnie, Toy Freddy, and that's because they have a large presence in the next Five Nights at Freddy's movie. This is taken from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 video game, but that is going to be heavily inspired and featured by what is happening in the new movie. Now, I've got to say, these figures are $9.99 each. These are relatively cheap to pick up. I got mine from Smyths Toys here in the UK. Now, they are articulated, and they do move, and you can move them around, but they do have the jump scare action, which we push the button in the back, and his mouth will move, and his arms will go up and down to do the action. You can pose him into different positions, though. So let's take a look at the articulation. So one thing to note is the head, the neck, does not move. It's not articulated. Because of the mechanism that's inside here that makes him do that, they've not included a neck partition, so there's no swivel in the neck, sadly. The ears as well are kind of static, they don't move. It's a shame we can't animate. It would have been so cool if they could just flop up and down a little bit. Do you know what? Even better if you'd have done that and the ears would have wiggled a little bit. That would have been cute. But no, but either way, it's cool to get Toy Bonnie in action figure form finally. So the arms do lift up and rotate all the way around, which is nice. You can move the arm outwards as well. There's a little bit of a back and forth there as well, look. So there's plenty of a range of movement on that peg. You can also bend the bicep hinge here, which is okay, which is nice there as well. So you can pose them around. And the hands are on little hinge joints as well, so the hands do also move around, which is nice. Now, for the jump scare action, you want to kind of get the hands like this, and then like this, and like this. Yeah, I'm trying to pose this up a little bit. Ooh, activate that hinge there. Oosh. And get his hands like that, so that when we push the button in the back, it goes. I want those a little higher, actually. See if we can pop those in a little bit more. There we go. There we go. Oh, what was that? Oh, his tail's popped out. Oh, his tail pops out. That's weird. So yeah, then you can go. I like it because when you do that, the little mouth moves. So you can kind of go and make him talk, which I kind of like. So if you pop the arms down a little bit so they're not going as wild, and then kind of do that, his mouth kind of moves. So you can kind of go, you know, make him animate him. I didn't know the tail popped out, though. That's interesting. It's not broken. It is just popped out. There's a little hole in the back. So it does just pop in and out. Interesting. On with the video, though. So there's no waist swivel. The waist, again, is static. Even though it looks like there should be a hinge there, there is no hinge. The legs move forward, backwards, and outwards, but not too much. It does get stuck here because of it's got chunky thighs and a small waist, so it does get stuck very quickly. So the articulation in that area is very limited. Now, there is little knee hinges, but to be fair, I have not worked out what to do with those yet. I've not been able to pose this thing, or any of the characters yet, into like a weird pose, really. They're kind of static. But it's still cool that they've got a bit of articulation. And then the feet can also rotate. There's no real back and forth, I believe, on these. There's a little bit, but... Oh, there is a ball joint in there, though. Maybe it just needs a bit warming up, because I can see the plastic starting to stretch there a little bit. You can see there's white on the plastic, which means we're basically bending the plastic, which we don't want, because it might snap. So definitely, if you see that on your figures, always get like a hairdryer or put some hot water on it, things like that, and it will loosen up the joints. But yeah, I'm not too worried about moving the feet, to be fair. I'm going to have him static on the shelf. But either way, these figures are really nice. Now, they do have a glow-in-the-dark eye action. So, let me grab my handy-dandy trusty, definitely not a Miniverse UV light, and just give him a blast. And then if I shut my curtains, we should be able to make him glow. Let's do that. Okay, it's not 100% dark in here, but it's darker, so you should be able to see the glow. In fact, if I turn my monitor off as well, that should, there we go, that's create a little bit more darker. So I've blasted it with my UV torch for a few seconds, so that should do it. The UV torch tends to really power up the glow-in-the-dark actions, so let me move that away, and there you go. You can see his eyes now are glowing a little bit of a dark blue. I want to see that better. We're not seeing that properly. We need a darker environment. There we go. The darkest place I know in the house, the shoe cupboard. And you can see his eyes kind of glowing there. It's struggling to focus, but you get the picture. The eyes are glowing there. In very badly distorted. Yeah, you kind of get the image though. But tell you what, let's put them side by side with the toy Freddy there. So they're the two together from the new series, which is very cool. Loving that. These look really nice. Now, the thing is, they don't scale at all with the new Endo series. The Endo series, to me, is definitely like a higher-end toy line. It's one that they want to push as their new kind of collector series, I think. And if I move Freddy out, I can then put one of the original Funko figures in there. So these kind of do scale okay with the Funko stuff. So if you're not going for the Endo series and you want these new ones to scale with your old Funko ones, then maybe this might work for you. That kind of looks okay. But like I say, they definitely do not scale with that brand new Endo series line at all. Honestly though, I think Jazwares are absolutely hitting it out of the park with this new toy line. And I think they are doing a great job with them. They are very nice and kind of cute little toys. And for the price point of $9.99, I mean, these are great for younger kids as well. That is a thing. I would definitely say this toy line, especially this one, is made for the younger kids, whereas the Endo series is definitely made for the older kids and the adult collectors. But I know those of us that love Five Nights at Freddy's will get some enjoyment out of these little jump scare retro style figures, because like I had toys like this when I was a kid. This is what I love most about it. It does have those nostalgic feels, especially with this push action. I had Ghostbuster figures back in the day that did similar things to this. So I mean, this is not a new thing. This is kind of an old retro thing, which is what I love about it. And I've got a feeling in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, we will actually see these as products that are being sold in the Freddy Pizzeria. Because like we've already seen the plushies in the trailer, I think these action figures will be like the things that are being sold in the pizzeria as merchandise, and then we've been able to buy the actual merchandising. Does that make sense? I think that's going to be where the tie-in lies. But either way, it's a great representation of the video game characters as well. The toy versions, so fun. And I think for a new toy line doing Five Nights at Freddy's, to start with the toy versions of the characters is a very smart move as well. These are tons of fun. But guys, what are your thoughts on this little toy line? Will you be picking any of these up for yourself? Let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed my video today, then please make sure you hit that like button on the way out and leave a comment down below letting me know who your favourite Five Nights at Freddy's character is. Guys, Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm your host, Superstar. I'll catch you in the next video. But until next time, stay super. Bye.